And welcome back to the Homemade Podcast Sports with your host, Jake Pops. Guys, so let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. OU in Texas. I'm going to be very, very honest with you guys. And you guys don't see me come on the podcast and talk about stuff like this, but I am going to start doing this quite more often. Oh, so Texas beats OU by a score of 49-0. Understand this Brent Venables' first year. Don't you get me wrong with that. But it hasn't been a coach that I know for OU as of to this day that I know and have seen and witnessed that has lost a game like that, 49-0. You scored nothing. Nothing. You made Texas defense look like they were the number one defense in the country. That's how you just made Texas defense look. Once again, I understand it's your first year as a head coach, stuff like that. Dylan Gabriel was out, stuff like that. But it's no way in hell that you can be the second best talented team over in the Big 12 and you lose 49-0. All credit to Steve Sarkisian. All credit to that young man, Quinn Ewers. I will say this here, and I said it during the Alabama game. Quinn Ewers looked every bit of like the number one prospect that they rated him as that year he was supposed to come out. It is what it is on that. I'm an Aggie, but an Aggie is I'm gonna give respect where it's due. Okay? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna give respect where it's due. That young man looked flawless. Now, it was probably against a bad defense, but that's how you're supposed to do against a bad defense. Brent Venables. If for anything, I felt that Brent Venables should have at least put OU on the map defensively. I have not seen any of that this year. I've seen it a little bit, but Kansas State hurt them. They hurt them bad. TCU hurt them. They hurt them bad. And Texas just absolutely humiliated them. They humiliated them. They didn't give them no points. I cannot believe that I saw Texas be that dumb. It hasn't been the game that I've witnessed. And I hope there's a lot of Texas fans in here. If it is, then, you know what I mean, oh well. I have not seen Texas be that dominant since Vince Young. And that was in the national championship year. Not the first year Vince Young played, the national championship year. I have not seen, once again, Texas be that dominant since that national title run with Vince Young. If it's a Texas fan out there, fine, you come in here, you quote me on it. That makes no sense for OU's defense to look that terrible on game day. Brent Venables, I don't know what you got to do, but you are the head coach. You can step in there. Whoever's calling that defense, you need to push them to the side for just a little bit. It's time for you to come out of your CEO role. Because you know that defense doesn't supposed to look like how the way it's looked. That's bad. That is bad. And once again, I'm not taking anything away from Texas because Texas deserved to win that game. This is a true Aggie fan coming on here telling you that Texas deserved to win that game. That was an all-around ass whooping that Oklahoma just took. And it in the red rivalry game that I've seen so far, well, once again, they were that dominant in. But, man, they beat the brakes off of them. And everybody wants to talk about recruiting. I have now witnessed and noticed that ever since Oklahoma threw that fit, okay, I'm going to say this once again. Ever since Oklahoma threw that fit of Texas A&M landing David Hicks, man, it's been looking bad for Oklahoma ever since then. It's been looking bad. And it's been looking bad through 3 games so far defensively and offensively. Let me not forget that. And offensively. And I'm not for one that can talk noise right now, especially with how the way our offenses look. Talking about Texas A&M here. But then again, I've seen flashes in this offense that was left on the field last game with Texas A&M. I didn't see anything in this game. And I'm not sure if Oklahoma had a backup quarterback or not. But I thought the guy General Booty that transferred over there was the actual backup. That guy does not look good. He does not look good at all. And people like to bash Haynes King. I can tell you one thing. Oklahoma wish they had Haynes King right now. Hell, Oklahoma wish they had Zach Calzada right now. Because damn, he wouldn't have left you at 0. He would at least put 10 on the board. You know, and see, and that's why it always kills me, man. A lot of you like to bash A&M like totally. A&M is a better football team than Oklahoma. Okay? That's just that. We may not be a better offensive team than Texas right now, but we're a better team than them defensively. You know, at least we got one of the two. If you was to put OU and Kansas on the field right now, I'm picking Kansas to win that game hands down. And as of right now, Kansas has taken their first loss. And that was a close loss. I think it was 38-31. TCU ended up pulling it out. Maybe TCU was a slept-on team. All right? We will say that we have to see more with Quinn Ewers, you know, as the season goes on, because I want to see how he looks against Kansas State. I want to see how he looks against TCU. They haven't met up yet. I want to see how he looks against Iowa State, Baylor. Those teams, they all haven't met up yet. And you just can't sleep on those teams like that. I'm sorry. It is what it is. But that's all I want to come out and say to you guys. Man, you just have to be careful of what you wish for. It's a whole lot of people down there in Norman, Oklahoma right now that's missing Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley with horrible defenses like he had with his days with Oklahoma, they've never looked that horrible until playoff time. I'm going to say it once again. They've never looked that horrible until playoff time. They were known for doing shootouts. But coming in defensively like that, Brent Venables, I expected a whole lot more out of you. It's a lot of people in Oklahoma that's looking back at this hire right now. You guys bash Jimbo Fisher. You know, and I hate to keep on bringing A&M in this. So I just want to move them to the side. But you can't keep on bashing other coaches if your coach is just, man, he's not that good this year. And like I say, I expected him to do way more with that team defensively than what he's doing right now. That defense is a shit show. It is a shit show. And it's way too much talent on that team for that defense to look like that. Don't get me wrong, man. They can only go by how the way their offense goes. But Brent, you are the driver defensively over there, and you should have had a better game plan against Quinn Ewers than that. All right, so that's all I want to say, and that's all I have. I don't believe that it's going to hurt your recruiting, but I do believe if you are trying to get those 5-star recruits on the defensive side of the ball in there, then you have to show a lot more than what you're showing. And that's just that. I know Texas continues to get 5-star recruits on both sides of the ball, but that's their brand that's bigger than anything, okay? And they can get their players from the state of Texas like nothing. But then again, Oklahoma can too. But then again, we can go back to what defensive player do you know of that Oklahoma has put into the draft first round in the last decade? Because I don't. I don't know anybody. And like I say, I'm expecting Brent to move that around. But as of right now, it's not a soul on that defense that's going to go in the first nor second round. All right, so that's all I have for you guys. I love you, man. I'll be back after the game is over with A&M in Alabama. A lot of people think that we're going to lose this game. Once again, I beg to differ. I believe A&M is going to show up. I believe Jimbo Fisher is going to show up. They've been hearing all the talk all this week. I believe they're going to show up, and they have a whole lot to prove. All right, so that's all I have for you. OU, just get your stuff together. Texas, congrats to you. Quinn Ewers looks every bit of like what we've all been wanting and waiting to see, to be honest with you. And it is what it is, man. I believe that Texas is the biggest threat to the Big 12 as long as Quinn Ewers is back there playing quarterback. All right. So I love all of them. #E.